What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to go over 10 Marvel and DC comic book storylines that need a movie. And let's get straight on the list with number 10, World War Hulk. Although Mark Ruffalo made it clear that there will not be a Hulk solo movie anytime soon, it would be pretty cool to see the storyline on the big screen. The plot of the comic involves Black Bolt, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Namor, and Mr. Fantastic banishing the Hulk from Earth. He was supposed to land on a peaceful planet, but his ship got knocked off course and he landed on a gladiator world. He made some new friends and they eventually conquered the planet. Everything seemed to be going great until the spacecraft used to bring Hulk to the planet exploded and killed his pregnant wife. He thought that this was one final act committed by his old allies. He traveled back to Earth so he could conquer it and get his revenge. Later on, Hulk realized that his new friend Mike could have prevented the explosion from happening. He allowed it to happen because he knew it would encourage the Hulk to destroy everything in his path. In the end, S.H.I.E.L.D. imprisons Bruce Banner in a facility 3 miles underground. Number 9, Acts of Vengeance. In this comic, Loki persuaded a group of supervillains to work together so they can destroy the Avengers. The team consisted of Doctor Doom, Kingpin, Magneto, Mandarin, Red Skull, and the Wizard. Loki attempted to recruit Apocalypse and Namor, but they refused to work with him. The villains knew they would never be able to win if they continued to fight the same heroes, so they decided to switch up opponents. Iron Man's enemies would suddenly attack the Fantastic Four, while the Fantastic Four enemies would attack Captain America. This was a great idea because the fight was unexpected and the heroes weren't prepared. The plan would have been a success if the villains knew how to get along with each other. They couldn't cooperate with each other because of their different values and beliefs. For example, Magneto, who was a Holocaust survivor, couldn't stand the fact that Red Skull was a Nazi. Of course, the story ends with the Avengers defeating the villains and Thor forced Loki to flee back to Asgard. Number 8, the Judas Contract. This iconic Teen Titans storyline recently received an animated movie, but a lot of people want to see it on the big screen. In the comic book, Tara is introduced as the most recent protege of the Teen Titans. At first, no one knew that she was secretly a spy and her partner was the Terminator. She told him everything, including the secret identities of the Teen Titans. During a training exercise, Changeling was annoying Tara, so she unleashed a massive attack that nearly crippled him. That's when Raven realized that Tara was very dangerous and was hiding something from the team. Later on, the Terminator takes down the team one by one. He kidnaps Starfire, Wonder Girl, Cyborg, and Changeling, but is disappointed in himself for not being able to capture Nightwing. Dick Grayson and Jericho went to the Hive base and discovered that the Titans have been strapped to a machine that is slowly draining away their life energy. In order to save the Titans, Jericho possessed his father, the Terminator. Tara was angry at her partner for showing too much affection towards his son, and this causes her to lose control of her powers. She tragically died after the building collapsed on her. Number 7, Superman Red Sun. Not too long ago, people were talking about a Joker origin movie that will not be a part of the DCEU. Apparently, DC is interested in creating Elseworld stories because they do not want directors and writers to feel like they have to set up future movies. If DC does go with this plan, they should definitely consider making a Red Sun movie. It shows what would have happened if Superman's rocket ship landed in the Soviet Union rather than Smallville, Kansas. Instead of fighting for truth and justice, Superman is described as the champion of the common worker who fights a never-ending battle for Stalin, socialism, and the international expansion of the Warsaw Pact. The point of this comic was to show how a change of environment completely changed Superman's values. Number 6, Batman Hush. Ben Affleck was originally the writer of the Batman solo movie, and he was planning on using Deathstroke as the main villain. This all changed when Matt Reeves became the director because he wanted to have more creative control. He wants to tell a Batman story that focuses on him using his detective skills to solve a mystery, which is exactly why he needs to make an adaptation of Hush. This famous Batman comic book revolves around a mysterious stalker called Hush who attempts to sabotage Batman from afar. It includes a large number of guest appearances by Batman villains, as well as various members of the Bat family. It turns out that Hush is actually Bruce Wayne's childhood friend, Thomas Elliot. He hated his father because he was abusive, and he hated his mother for not having the courage to stand up for him. Tommy became obsessed with the idea of having all of his parents' wealth, so he decided to plan out their deaths. When he was very young, he cut the brake line of his parents' car, which is what caused them to crash. His father passed away, but Dr. Thomas Wayne saved his mother's life. Tommy was extremely angry at Bruce because he was able to inherit the Wayne family fortune. Number 5, Secret Invasion. This is a comic book crossover storyline that ran through an 8-issue limited series. The story involves a long-term invasion of Earth by the Skrulls, a group of alien shapeshifters who have secretly replaced many superheroes in the Marvel Universe with imposters. To promote this event, Marvel used the tagline, "Who do you trust?" The writer of the comic, Brian Michael Bendis, stated in an interview that the motivation for the invasion is the destruction of the Skrull Empire in the Annihilation storyline. According to Bendis, the Skrulls believe that Earth is religiously and rightfully theirs. At the time, Tony Stark was the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he lost his position because the world was invaded under his watch. After the invasion ended, Norman Osborn replaced S.H.I.E.L.D. with an organization called Hammer. Captain Marvel, which is scheduled to hit theaters in 2019, will be the first MCU movie to introduce the Skrulls. Some fans do believe that Marvel will make a Secret Invasion movie after Infinity War comes out. Number 4, Blackest Night. This storyline was introduced at the ending of the Sinestro Corps War in the Green Lantern Volume 4, number 25. The Guardians decided to reveal the Blackest Night prophecy to the 4 Green Lanterns of Earth. The ancient prophecy states that the 2 existing corps would be joined by 5 new ones, each driven by a specific emotion and empowered by a specific color of the emotional spectrum. This can destroy the entire universe by leading it to a war of light. Blackhand, the main villain of the comic book, brought the dead back to life by sending them black rings. Everyone who returned from the dead, including Elongated Man, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman, became evil Black Lanterns. The Flash, Green Lantern, Mara, and Adam knew that they were the only people who were capable of preventing a war from happening. Hal Jordan somehow managed to convince all the Lanterns to work together. Later on, several heroes and villains get recruited into different corps. Wonder Woman becomes a Star Sapphire, Lex Luthor becomes a greedy Orange Lantern, Mara becomes an enraged Red Lantern, Scarecrow becomes a member of the Sinestro Corps, the Atom becomes an Indigo Lantern, and Barry Allen becomes a Blue Lantern. In the end, Hal Jordan bonded with the white entity of life and used its power to defeat the Black Hand. Number 3, AllStar Superman. The story began with Lex Luthor sabotaging Dr. Leo Quintum and his team, Project, while they were exploring the sun. Superman came to the rescue and he is exposed to massive amounts of solar radiation. This caused him to become more powerful, but it was also slowly killing him. He only had 1 year left to live, and he decided to keep his impending death a secret from the public. Near the ending of the comic, Superman joined his Kryptonian father Jor-El, who revealed that his body was converting itself to a solar radio consciousness. He offered his son a choice: stay with him or come back to life. When Superman gained consciousness, he was faced with a major problem because Solaris tampered with the sun. In order to save the world, he had to repair the sun by flying directly into it. The story ended with the door of Superman's characteristic shield, but its usual S is replaced with the number 2. Number 2, Siege. This comic book followed the events that took place in Civil War, Secret Invasion, and Dark Reign. Asgard was located in another dimension, but it was later recreated in Oklahoma. Loki wanted it to return to its own dimension, which is why he asked Norman Osborn to attack the city. The only reason why Osborn agreed is because he didn't like the idea of gods living in the US. In order to get public acceptance for the attack, they staged an incident that was similar to the one that began the Civil War. The president tried to convince Osborn to stop, but he didn't listen to him. All the other fugitive heroes team up so they could defeat Asgard from Osborn's forces. They were able to defeat Norman, but that didn't change the fact that the battle destroyed the city. The Superhero Registration Act was repealed and Osborn was sent to prison. Number 1, Batman: The Long Halloween. This comic book takes place during Batman's early days of crime fighting, and it tells the story of a killer named Holiday who only murders people during the holidays. Just like many other great Batman stories, this one focuses on him using his detective skills to solve a mystery. On Halloween, Johnny Vitti was killed and the murderer left behind a jack-o'-lantern. On Thanksgiving, a gang of 5 Irish assassins hired by Falcone to murder District Attorney Harvey Dent were killed, and the murderer left behind a Thanksgiving basket. On Christmas, Milo's grandpa was killed and the murderer left behind a snow globe. This continued to happen until next Halloween. Gilda Dent, the wife of Two-Face, admitted that she was the first holiday. The reason why she became a murderer is because Harvey could not settle down and raise a child with her until the Falcone crime family was finally destroyed. It turned out that she was not the only holiday. Alberto Falcone faked his death on New Year's Eve to cover up the fact that he was the second holiday. He claimed that he became holiday because his father never took him seriously or included him in the family business. The last holiday was Two-Face, who killed Carmine Falcone and the Vernon Field on Halloween. He left behind his trademark double-sided coin at the final murder. And that is it for the video, guys. As always, thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Follow me on Twitter at Valenplana, and I'll see you all later.